Hello, hello. Welcome to, excuse me, your math lesson for today. What's the date? I don't have my plan book in front of me and the board's not in front of me. Let's see. It is Wednesday, October 21st. I said that in the Bible lesson. I need to write that down somewhere. I'm going to write it down right here so that I know for the next video. Wednesday, October 21st. First day of online learning. How are you guys doing? If you're starting with this lesson, then welcome. If I've already done Bible, then awesome. So this lesson for math is lesson 36. We're going to be going to the workbook pages that go with this one are pages 65 and 66. So that should be somewhere close to you. You don't need it right away because we do have a speech roll. So your speech roll, we're doing lesson 36. It's on page 27. It's also the top right-hand corner of, and really, I think my camera mirrors me, so I think it should be on this side. I don't know. Top right-hand corner. You're going to have 2 minutes for this. I'm going to switch over to my clock. And I'm going to go ahead and start that time. I'll let you know when to start, when to stop. This all goes by honor code, right? If you're being honest and honorable, then if you don't get them all right or all done, it's okay. Remember, it's not like a matter of life and death, okay? So do your best. If you don't finish again, that just means that you need to practice, and we'll keep on practicing. Easy enough. Now on this speed drill, it's a little bit trickier. You need to write the process that's going on. So the answer is either going to be a plus sign, a minus sign, a times sign, or a division sign. I really can't do a division sign, but a division sign. It's one of those four things. You're not writing a number, you're writing the process. You need to figure out how the numbers relate to one another, okay? And again, you have 2 minutes to do this. So I'm going to switch over to my clock. Here it is. Now you'll see it says 2 minutes. If you're not ready with your speed drill, just pause the video, and when you are ready, go ahead and play it, all right? But I'm going to go ahead and start my time in just a minute. Ready? On your mark, get set, go. All right, pencils down. I'm going to switch back to here. I'm going to make sure that my audio is on. Perfect. How'd you guys do? I know those are tricky. Maybe you finished before the timer went off and maybe you didn't. Either way is fine, guys. The whole point of these is that you're practicing, you're doing your best, okay? So if you did that, then I would give yourself a pat on the back. All right, let's get to your lesson today. So again, your workbook page that we're focusing on is 65 and 66. All right, so let's do it. We are talking about fractional parts of groups. And when I say that, it sounds really, really complicated. It's kind of common sense. It can be tricky at times, but this page really doesn't give you much of a challenge. So here's what I mean by that. If you look at it and you're just thinking about how, the key here is I want you to think about how you would split these things between however many people or number the denominator is, okay? So for example, look at your, yellow box up top. Not only can objects be divided into fractional parts, so remember we talked about fractions and parts of fractions, meaning less than one, but groups of objects can also be divided into fractional parts. For example, look, I have 3 markers here. I can split these into fractional parts, right? This, instead of 1 being the whole, 3 is the whole because that's the number that I have in my group. Now, if I had 3 people that I wanted to split this with, how would I divide my fractional parts? Well, I would take 1 marker and give it to 1 person. I'd take another marker and give it to another person. And then I'd take the last marker and give it to the 3rd person, right? We each got 1 marker. That 1 is a fractional part. It is 1/3 of the whole, right? So let's practice with this. Still up in the example, it says 1/2 of 8 balls equals what? Well, if you have 8 balls and you're splitting it between 2 people because that's the denominator, how many is each person going to get? So look at the picture, there's 8 balls there. Divide the 8 balls into 2 groups of 4, right? You can also take your denominator and divide it into the whole number. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. All right, now this only works when the numerator is 1. However, the numerator is 1 every single time on this page. So that's a nice little tip. Look at down below. Sorry, not down below, but the bottom part of that yellow box. 1/4 of 12 pumpkins. So we have 12 pumpkins. We have 4 people, right? Because it says 1/4. 4 people we need to split 12 pumpkins beyond. How many is each person going to get? Well, you can see that you can split 12 pumpkins by divided by 4 evenly, and each person is going to get 3 pumpkins per person. Look at that next, the wording to the right of the pumpkins. Divide the 12 pumpkins into 4 groups of 3. Let's practice with this. All right, look at number 1, letter A. It says 1/2 of 4 pencils. So you're splitting 4 pencils into 2 groups for 2 people, all right? Now, they want you to circle the groups. So you need to circle the 4 pencils, put them into 2 groups. So for example, hopefully you can see my board. Sometimes it's kind of far away and the picture on the camera isn't great. But pretend these are my pencils. Can you see that? Yep, there's one. Now, I'm not really focusing on drawing real good pencils, but there are my 4 pencils. Now, if I were to split them into 2 groups, I know that evenly each person is going to get 2. So I'm going to, and you should too, take my pencil. I have a marker, but you have a pencil, and circle those 2 groups. Just like that. And then I would write in the blank on the left side, 1/2 of 4 pencils is 2. On the right side of the picture, it says divide the 4 pencils into 2 groups of 2. Your answer on the left should match your answer on the right. Let's do it again. Letter B, it says 1/3 of 9 blocks. So I'm hoping that I have a better working, maybe we can try my red one. So if I have 9 blocks and they have them split up for you, let's see. There's my 9 blocks. 1/3 of them means there's 3 people that are splitting these blocks. How do we do it evenly? We're going to circle groups of so many numbers to make sure that we have 3 groups. So split it into 3. 9 divided by 3 is what? So I'm going to circle groups of 3 blocks per person, right? And then I can write on the left side that 1/3 of 9 is 3. And on the right side, it says divide blank blocks. That's the total. How many blocks total? Divide 9 blocks into 3 groups of 3. There's your answers, okay? So I'm giving you the answers. I'm hoping you're writing them down. Sometimes it's hard to tell where I'm talking, but right now I'm talking about 1, A and B, the left side of the picture and the right side of the picture, and then the picture itself should be circled in that many groups, okay? Let's do it again. Letter C. 1/5 of 15 arrows. Ooh, let's see, I need to, I used to have, there it is. I found it. All right, so if I have 15 arrows, give me a second so I can draw these bad boys. Let's see, and they have them, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I gotta move my smiley face. 13, 14, 15. There's my 15 arrows. Can you see them? Kinda, if you squint a little bit. Now it says 1/5 of 15 arrows, meaning we need to divide it into 5 groups. 5 groups. Do you see how to do that? Well, they kind of line the picture up pretty well for you, right? There's 5 groups, 5 rows right there. So I'm going to circle my groups. There's one. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. All right, 5 groups. And now we know that how many per group? There's 1, 2, 3 per group. Fractions have a very close relationship to division. I want you guys to remember that, okay? 1/5 of 15 is 3. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Do you see the relationship? Excuse me. Now on the right side of the picture, you have this sentence. It says divide the blank arrows. How many total? The 15 arrows into how many groups did it ask? Remember your denominator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of how many arrows per group? 1, 2, 3. So one more time, that sentence should read, divide the 15 arrows into 5 groups of 3. And that is it for fractional parts. You're welcome. Isn't that so cool? All right, so I did tell you about Easter eggs. Here's your Easter eggs. Are you ready? You do not, repeat, you do not have to do the green problem. So if you look on your page, 2B, do you see how that B is green? You do not need to do that one. Also, 2F is green. You do not need to do that one. On the back, guys, let's see, 5C is green. Don't do it. 6B is green. Don't do it. And that's the last one. Let's go over the instructions, okay? On number 2, because we did number 1 all together, those should all be right. If you watch the video, you should be golden on those. Number 2 says multiply and check, right? You need to check. These are also factors of 3, right? 3-digit factors. So they need to go on a piece of lined paper or a graph paper. They should not go on a blank piece of paper because that kind of defeats the purpose. Remember, we want on lined or graph to keep your numbers straight and neat and orderly, all right? So those, let's see, 2A, 2C, 2D, 2E all must be done on a piece of lined paper or graph paper. If you prefer graph paper, you can look up a template online and print it off. That's easy to do. Or if you have graph paper at home, that always works too. Number 3, you need to solve those story problems. Look at the back. Number 4, solve the measurement problem. And maybe we should talk about that one together because I know some of you guys have really been struggling with these measurement problems. So I'm happy to help. Let's do it. Give me a second to write it down. Oop, don't let my computer fall asleep on me. All right, we have 27 feet plus 9 yards equals how many yards? All right, you guys see that? All right, let's solve. So remember the first step is we need to figure out what is different. First, well, I guess before that, we need to see what our answer needs to be in, right? Blank yards. So I'm going to put blank yards plus blank yards equals blank yards. Are you with me so far? Now we need to box the thing that's different. Are these different? Yards and yards? Nope. Yards and yards? Not different. Feet and yards, that is different. We need to box that one, and that's telling us that we need to focus on this first, all right? We cannot do the rest of the math until we have the same unit of measure. So write steps 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There it is. I'm sorry if you can't see this. I'm hoping that you can see it. I can see it, but we'll see. So step 1, remember we need to decide, are we multiplying or are we dividing? Well, we're going from feet to yards, right? So from feet, I should say from feet to yards, smaller to bigger, feet to yards, divide. We're going to divide. So I'm going to put a little division symbol right here. And then we need to figure out our special number. I'm going to put S equals, because that's our special number. S equals what? How do feet and yards relate to one another? How many yards are in a feet or in a foot? Or how many feet are in a yard? Well, there's not really a good measurement that we have so far of yards into feet, but we do have feet into yards. So how many feet are in a yard? 3. Your special number is 3. And now we just do the math. 27 is our number. 27 divided by 3, our special number, and we know our division, so we know 27 divided by 3 is 9. So now I can take that 9 and put it in my box. I've figured out this part. Do I need to do anything for this part? No, because they're the same, right? So I just need to bring that 9 down. Now I can do my math. 9 yards plus 9 yards equals 18 yards. And I'm going to put it in both blanks. 18 yards is what you should have gotten. Did you guys understand that? I'm hoping with me explaining step by step that really helps for you guys next time when you have a measurement problem. This is a process you need to do every single time. All right? All right, number 5 says you need to divide and check. Check. Number 6, you need to average those numbers. Remember, averaging requires you to add all the add-ins, count the add-ins, and divide the sum by the number of add-ins. Remember that. That's why we went over terminology, right? You all understood what I was just saying with those terms, right? Add-ins, sums, dividing. And then look at the homework. It just says to follow the signs. When it says follow the signs, you do not need to check, okay? But letter C, you need to have on a graph piece of paper or a lined piece of paper. And I think that's the only one. All right. All right, guys, that's it for math. I will check you in the next video, which I don't know what's going to be yet, but I'll see you soon.